All right,
Okay.
so this is Last with Legends. This is our little podcast we're going to be doing, talking about some sports and NFL and this, that, and the other, and all that good stuff. So we had some games this weekend. Actually, there's a couple of things I have questions about. First, I have a comment. I've been a Bears fan for a very long time. I don't mind when we lose because we lose. But these past few games, I got my health checked this year. My heart's good. I got the calcium deal. I guarantee if I go back next year, they're going to tell me something's wrong with my heart. I'm tired of these last minute games where we're literally winning these games in the last 2 minutes. We're trailing and then win the games. The New York Giants. What was the last one? What was the last one? The Bears.
Giants last week.
No. What? It's Cincinnati. Cincinnati was the same damn thing. At the last minute, we won that football game.
What's wrong with that?
Because if you were like winning the game and then the other team was coming back up, I would be like, all right, cool. But instead, we're constantly the team who's losing during the game and then come back. Did you watch the Cincinnati game?
I did watch the Cincinnati game.
20-something to 41. We were whooping them. And they came all the way back.
Yeah, they did.
And then we won at the last minute. I don't want games like that. I'll pass.
Okay, as a fan, you're saying what you don't want.
Yep.
As a player and a former player, I see a win as a win.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Because you know how rare it is to win in the NFL.
Yes.
Where it's 30 points, where it's a 3-point, where it's a half a point.
Yeah.
It's very rare. So right now, if we weren't talking about Chicago Bears, we would just saw that they won and we don't give a damn. And just see, what is this? What are they? 5-3, 6-3?
6-3, baby.
That's all we're looking at. We're looking at 6-3. We don't care who they beat. We don't care who they lost to. It's 6-3.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters. A win is a win. I don't care if it was the worst team in the NFL. You want to know how hard it is to win against the worst team in the NFL because they're unorthodox and they do crazy stuff to try to win? It's hard to beat those teams that suck.
Look what happened to Dallas and Arizona. I mean, why in God's green earth did Dallas lose to Arizona? At home.
Dallas, Arizona. Look what happened last week to Buffalo and Miami.
Ooh, that had to be painful.
Yeah.
That's humiliating. What was it? I saw somebody the other day. They were talking about, we won. The Bills were, basically, we won the game. Yeah, but you're going to lose in the playoffs. And then they was like, yeah, but hey, KC, you got to make it to the playoffs.
You got to make it to the playoffs. That's all that matters, which is another season. Yeah. But as for the Bears, winning the last minute, I don't care. After going through what we've been through the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I'm taking 6-3, and I don't give a damn if they just won by 1 point.
Don't get me wrong, my heart's going to give out at some point, but I'm 100% supporting of winning. We play the Vikings this week. I will be curious to see how we do against the Vikings. Lions play the Eagles. Obviously, we want the Lions to lose this week. That's kind of the goal. I think we're number 2 or number 3 in our little space and there. I have a couple of questions. So I'm going to go with this one first. So after the Bears game, the New York Giants fired Daboll.
Yes, they did.
But why? What good does it do? What good does it do to? But what good does it do in the middle of a season? I even said that about Eberflus. Although, God, he was fired because of his freaking.
Look, you have a job. You're an owner of a business, corporation, whatever. You see the same thing over and over and over by no productivity with your CEO or your general manager. Does the same thing every time, and you're not getting results.
Right. I mean, yeah, you're gonna, but I mean, we're looking. That's like that company never ends. I mean, Daboll at the end of the season, you fire your head coach, but I don't know who did they put in an interim. Let's see.
The offensive coordinator, I forgot his name, who had some talks about head coaching the last couple of years. So he's been on the line about a head coaching position. So now he has a chance to prove himself.
Mike Kafka.
Yes,
Okay.
whoever he is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be kind of curious how that one goes. It's kind of sad, especially John Luke all the time screaming about the Jets and the Giants.
Well, his first move was to start Winston this Sunday instead of Russell
Oh, this
Wilson. Winston is starting instead of Wilson
for the Giants.
for the Giants, and they're
Oh,
playing.
yeah, because their quarterback, their rookies out, isn't he?
Yeah, Dart. He's on the concussion protocol, but you would normally think that Winston's been number two the last two second string quarterback the last couple of games before they benched him. You would think he'd have him in too. No, he surpassed him and put the number three quarterback up to start the game. So that shows he's already making changes. But screw those Giants.
Yeah, I mean Russell Wilson was doing great. I mean, look what he did against the Cowboys and got a tie. He put up amazing numbers, but the defense couldn't stop anything.
No, the defense can't stop anything. Like water going through a strainer.
Yeah. They did pretty good against the Bears. I was kind of upset about that. So that kind of defense brings me to another question. The Cowboys traded with the Jets. Is it Quindon?
Defensive tackle.
Yeah. Is that going to make a difference?
I don't think it's going to make a difference. They got traded a first round draft pick for this guy. When are the Cowboys going to learn they need to start rebuilding? They have 3 first round draft picks, 4 first round draft picks in the next 2 years. And they put it on a guy who's a good player. I'm not saying he's not a bad player. He's a great player, but you're putting him on this time of this kind of season. So I mean, what is it going to do? You're not going to make the playoffs. And if you do, it's going to do. I mean, you got to win. You got to win like 6 games in a row to make the playoffs right now.
So you don't think the Cowboys? I mean, Cowboys are, oh, man, 3-5. That's a sorry conference.
Yeah, they 30, 31, 31st in the defense in the league, something like that. 30.
I still don't think that what's his name would have made that much of a difference. Parsons, one dude
No.
on one side, I don't think would have made that much of a difference.
We've been talking about this for the last 2 years, and I've been telling you for 2 years he's not going to make a difference. And he hasn't. He still hasn't in Green Bay. So that's just the way it is. But I don't think this guy's going to make a difference. So the Cowboys, okay, the defense improved. They went from 30 to 27. Hey,
Still doesn't get you anywhere.
don't get you anywhere. Don't get you anywhere. You can't get that ball in that end zone. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think that was a good acquisition. I think they could have just kept those guys, whoever they are, and saved their first round draft pick. They could have used them next year on a wide receiver. They could have used it. They need a linebacker before a defensive line. They need a freaking linebacker. These old lightweight dudes getting ran down the field 12, 13 yards. You're not supposed to happen like that in a dog. When you're a linebacker, you're supposed to take all that stuff and make some tackles. Everything is 5, 6 yards. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, to me, it's crazy. A lot of these standings where everybody, I mean, obviously Eagles are number 1. I mean, Lions and Bears are tied up right now, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting in the NFC North, especially if Detroit's playing the Eagles this week. If they lose and we beat the Vikings, who seem to be sorry this year. I mean, not too sorry. I mean, they're 4-5 or 6-3. It's not that much of a jump, but if we can beat them, beat the Packers this year, I mean, that Lions game becomes the game for the NFC North.
I mean, it's a tough schedule. I'm looking at it right now. They have the Vikings this week, the Steelers, the Eagles, at the Packers, the Browns. Like I said, a team that's not good. You never know what you can get from them. I'm telling you, it's going to be more difficult than you think.
Yeah.
Then you got the Packers. Then you got the 49ers. That's the tough thing. Then you got the Lions at the last game of the season. That's a tough schedule.
Something tells me that I don't know if we keep on the path. If the Bears keep on the path they're going, something tells me because usually you end the year with Green Bay just because it's the longest running rivalry in NFL history. But I am kind of curious to see if because we play the Lions at the end of the year, the Bears play the Lions. I'm very curious to see if that is the game that basically is for the NFC North.
Well, it depends what they do.
Between now, I know it depends on what they do between now and then, but
1,
I am
2,
kind of
3,
curious about
4,
that.
5, 6, 7. It's 8 games left.
Yeah.
So you got to take one game at a time. You got to beat the Vikings. That's a divisional game. That's going to be very, very important. And the Vikings are a better team than people think.
Yeah. Tampa Bay sitting out there at 6-3. Seahawks and Rams are 7-2 with the 49ers at 6-4. Man,
Everybody's beating everybody.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, a lot of unexpected wins and losses in this NFL this year. Everything is pretty much flat. I don't see a real. Oh,
Patriots
what?
8-2.
Patriots. That's what I was going to say about the Patriots when we talked about them. If we were talking about them, but we're talking about them now. Vrabel, he's doing the same thing that he did in Tennessee. I mean, he kind of won out at the end, but he went in there and just took control and make them contender. They got to contend with Buffalo. Now you got to worry, and no telling what the place is going to be in the playoffs. It might be going against Baltimore or something like that, or anything. So you never know.
Well, nobody would have expected I mean, I think the worst in the AFC is the AFC North. I mean, Steelers 5-4, Ravens 4-5, Bengals 3-6, Browns 2-7. That's a ridiculous. Colts, man, that running back.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a bad boy. That
Damn.
is a bad boy right there. He's on my fantasy team too.
And that's the perfect thing about fantasy. I mean, I end up in one of my fantasy football. I got Saquon Barkley. Look what happened?
Yeah. He's they have a tough division right there, so he's not doing what he did last year because the offensive line is not doing what they did last year. So, I mean, it's not all him. He's still a great running back. He just can't find the doggone hole because the offensive line is not playing to the way they should. And plus, the Eagles' offense sucks.
Yep.
That's a boring offense, so they became predictable. So what they've been successful at the last couple of years, they're not successful now because the teams are starting to convey on that, and it's just not working. So they need to find a way to switch it over.
Yeah. And you got the Broncos. Very surprised the Broncos this year. They got that young quarterback. What's that, Bo Nix?
Yeah, he's so up and down. That game they played, I had a bye week from Mahomes on my fantasy, and I had picked him up because he was doing so good the last 3 games or so. And he picked the week that I put him as a starter to tank.
Oh no! So that's my deal. I went to Chicago for the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboy game because Mark, and as much as it hurt me because of how well Dak was playing, I put Dak in above Caleb. Caleb put up 32 points in fantasy on that, and Dak put up 15.
I would have did that.
But then another time, I was like, "Well, let me start Caleb because this team looks like I can get through. I can do pretty well with him." Damn hell no, Caleb did shit, and Dak did great. So now I'm just like, I literally just kind of flip a coin and figure out who I'm going to put in at quarterback.
Yeah, that's a difficult decision. I mean, every player can have a great game. It's just unfortunate. That's anybody, but that's the tale of the tale when you go do the fantasy football.
Yeah. Well, that's football, man. What else you got?
So, before we got a podcast, we made this discussion because on the podcast we were doing last year, you talked a lot about Michigan State football. So when we were talking before we started this recording, we said, I said, Michigan State football, no comment. So move on.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank man. So we have Laughs with Legends coming up in San Francisco this year. We want to shout it out. We have the date for it. If you need more information, you can go to laughswithlegends.com and kind of look what that looks like. Sponsorship information's on there. Everything you would need. We're looking forward to it. This will be a great event. We're not really naming the participants, and there's a reason for that. You never know who's going to be in the Super Bowl, and it's not really a matter of who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It's really a matter of who. If a team goes to the Super Bowl, their team that they played for, a lot of times will reach out to them and have these different directions. So just know that we normally set this, the cast of the show a lot later in the season, and obviously there'll be more. I know Flozel's going to be there. We're going to have a great time, and we look forward to seeing everybody. So, anything from you, Flozel?
Nope. I look forward to having that Last of Legends in San Francisco. And I know we started late this year with football, but there's a lot of football left. So we're going to continue this and do our focus on it and just see how it goes and talk about it and criticize and try not to be like Stephen A.
Yeah.
Even though we're not making Stephen A. money with this.
No, that is no joke. It's like, come on, man.
Yep.
All right. Peace.
Peace out.